the crafting coop. Today I'm using a couple of different Stampin' Up stamp sets that I've just recently bought because I have become a Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm going to play around with the Friendly Flamingo. I'm going to be using the Flamingo and this seaweed or flower and this little flower, and then I'm gonna come in with Seaside View, but I'm just gonna use the birds. So let's get started. So I already have my little flamingo and my Stamparatus on my I'm using up some Whisper White paper that I have, and I'm going to stamp out our flamingo in Magenta Madness. And then I am going to take it to my scan and cut it out because I do not have the dies. So I want you guys to bear with me for a little while here while I get all my Stampin' Up supplies. Not everything that I use will be Stampin' Up, but I will try to let you know that and link everything in the description below. So I inked up our little flamingo. I've got it in my Stamparatus here. I'm going to press it down really well. And there, turned out beautiful. Look at that. How pretty. So I'm just going to clean up my stamp. This is from Ranger, water-based stamp cleaner. Just going to spray it on my stamp here. And I'm going to wipe that off. The pink does stain your photopolymer. Don't worry. It doesn't affect how it's being used. We'll put this aside for a little bit. And I am going to go cut this out on the scan and cut. Okay, there we have our flamingo. He's all set and ready to go. So to not get him damaged or inked up anyway, I am going to set him aside. So now what we're going to do is our background. I want to do some water and some skies and a little land in the background. So what I want to do, I have these stencils here. I believe they came from I want to say they came from Blue Night Rubber Stamps. This one gives you some clouds. This one gives you a tree line and some clouds. So I'm going to use this one first. And I want to come out with the lightest blue I have, which is Balmy Blue. And we are going to use some ink blenders, ink blending tools. We're going to smush that right on into our ink. Doesn't have to be a lot on there because we just want a hint of a clouds. Come down a little bit more. Not even going to re-ink my blender. You just move it and you get these puffy clouds. It's pretty cool. So there's my clouds. I'm just gonna blend them a little bit so that white isn't so starky white. There's our clouds. So now what I want to do is come in here with some water, and I'm gonna just take a piece of scratch paper, which I already have some blue on, and we're gonna make our water. And there's our water. So now I am going to switch blending tools and colors. And I'm gonna come in with Old Olive. And I am going to get my tree line stencil. I don't know if you can see that, but I am going to turn it upside down because we want trees, right? Okay, so I'm actually going to turn it this way a little bit. I'm going to line this paper up on my grid, line the edge of the stencil along the side of my grid paper. Just try to get a level horizon. Now we're going to take this other piece of paper and we're just going to kind of come above the water a little bit, and we're going to try to hold everything in place. Whoopsies. It's okay. It's not a failure. It's kind of hard to hold everything, but we'll fix it. There we go. Alrighty. So don't worry about the green and the blue. We're gonna fix that. I am going to take, let me see here. That's too dark. And dark Crumb Cake. And you see where the green and the blue don't mix and there's a white line? We're gonna kind of give it a little bit of a sandy beach dirt area. And that was Dark Crumb Cake and Stampin' Blends. Let me see what else I can do with this mistake. I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to continue with, let's see what this one does. Gives it a hint of darker water. All right. That was Light Balmy Blue. Okay, so I want to bring in this floral here. And as I said, bear with me because I don't have all my Stampin' Up products yet. So I'm using what's on hand. I'm going to come in with Old Olive. We're going to manipulate this stamp a little bit, give it a little bit of a turn. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to do it the other way. That's a nice thing about photopolymer stamps. You can manipulate the stamp a little bit. There we go. And clean off my stamp. And what I want to do is come in here and color in some of those areas that you can see light through, and the back green. I am using dark Mossy Meadow. Try to give it a little bit of darker contrast against the land and mountains that we put in. And then you don't want water, you don't want to look at water running through the lens and leaves. So we're gonna fill that in as well. Again, this is dark Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blend. All I'm doing is filling in those leaves and the stem. so it stands out from the background. Making some of those areas a little darker. There we have that. That was Dark Mossy Meadow. And then we have a little bit of seaweed that we're going to use. I can find my block. There it is. Again, we're going to use the old olive. And it's got some water ripples around it, so I'm just being careful and wiping those away, and we'll fill those in a little bit. Actually, I'm just going to stamp it off right off the page here. I'm going to take it all the way across the bottom. Varying heights. There we go. Since this is old olive, I want to come in. There's a few of these that get kind of light in stamping, so I just want to darken those up just a little bit so you don't see the blue water through it. I love Stampin' Up and their colors because they not only have colored ink pads, but they have the stamping blends to go along with it. It is so nice that that is done that way. I wonder if I can just, there we go. I'm just gonna make that not so white. Come back in with that blue. Blend it out. I like it. So we also have some ripples, some water ripples. And it is made to go, where'd our little flamingo go? Here he is. It is made to go around his feet. but we're gonna have him sticking up kind of like that. So I'm just gonna put ripples wherever I can put ripples. Stamp once, move it, stamp off. Just gives you some ripples. And we're gonna put him right about there. But I'm not done yet. I need to get my birds out of Seaside View. And we're going to lightly tap them into Memento ink. Stampin' Up does sell that. Tuxedo Black. And we're just going to lightly tap them in there. And we're going to put them right about there. There we go. Good enough for my birds. Clean up my stamps. I like to make sure that all my stamps are clean as I use them and they're put back where they belong, so I don't lose anything. Okay, so then our sayings that we have to choose from is hoping your day is as amazing as you are. Happy birthday. You're outstanding. Stand tall and stand out. Just be you. Let's do stand tall and stand out, because that's what that flamingo is doing. Standing tall, and he's standing out in his beautiful pink glory. Just trying to make sure we get that straight as we can. And we're gonna put that guy right up there. What do I want to do this in? How about Pacific Point? Lightly tap. You don't with Stampin' Up ink pads, you don't have to smush in, because you'll get ink everywhere. You just lightly tap. And give it a good press. Don't rock it around. Lift straight up. And there we have it. Stand tall and stand out. Now we get to use some dimensionals and put, I like to make sure one thing on my card is on dimensionals so it stands out, and being as it is the focal point of the card, our flamingo needs to stand out. So these are Stampin' Up Dimensionals. They are minis. And I'm just gonna put them everywhere on this flamingo. And I'm just using a pick tool that I have to grab them off of their sheet and place them down. I have been a fan of Stampin' Up for many years, and I've gotten quite a bit of their stamp sets. And with my having a YouTube channel, I figured it might as well just go ahead and start demonstrating some of the stamps. But like I said, bear with me because I do not have all of the tools at my disposal at this time. So I'm using what I have. And I like to be an advocate of use what you have. We're gonna cut another one up in the middle for the legs. These are the Stampin' Up minis, or the dimensional minis. They need to be a little bit smaller for his legs. So I love flamingos. One of the places my husband and I like to visit is New Orleans. And we like to go out in the bayou and down on the coast and just sightsee. And on one of our trips down there in the bayou, they had just a whole flock of flamingos standing right off the side of the road. I mean, tons of flamingos standing off the side of the road. And they were just beautiful. And since they were able to eat their shrimp, they're bright pink, I mean, in all their glory. So I am a flamingo lover. Let's see, where can I put this last little piece? Okay, there's that. So I'm gonna have off camera here this little doodad. It's called a weeding tool. You just push it down on your glass and it stays there. And actually it's gonna stay right there. So we'll use that. I found it on Amazon. It's a nice little tool. I come in here with these dimensional backings, and I take my little pokey tool and grab them off, and that way we can just throw them right into that little bucket there. It's so handy. I love it. It's not sticking to the paper too much, but it sticks to the glass wonderfully. So we're just gonna take these dimensional backings off. If you're anything like me, you have dimensional backings all over the house. But it's nice to have that little bucket there to grab those. All right, time to put our flamingo down. Ain't he pretty? Lovely. So I want to come in here also with a little wink of Stella. It just a little glitter. Go down the veins of his feathers. Makes them stand out a little bit more. They also have this in Stampin' Up. I highly recommend it. Gives a little something extra to your stamp. Makes it stand out a little bit more. You probably can't tell out there in YouTube land, but the person that gets this card will know. Okay, so let's work on our card panel. I have here Whisper White, 8.5 by 11 cut in half at 5 1/4 by 4 1/4. I think that's right. So I'm going to bring in my cutter here, that's Stampin' Up. You can get those as well. We're gonna cut this down to 5 1/8. And I believe it's 4 1/8. I would just want to verify here. Nope. This is 4 1/4. We're gonna cut this to 4 1/4, 4 1/8. Now 5 1 2 3/8, 5 3/8. This will be our background paper, just like that. And then this should be 4 by 5 1/4. So I want to take a little bit off of this to make sure we have a little bit of a border, so you can see that background. So I'm just taking 1/8 off the two sides. Trimmed up that bottom a little bit, made that look a little nicer. And we're done with that. Let's put this card together. Uh-oh, sorry. Just jerked you guys, made you go for a ride. So this is DSP. It's called Subtles. It's 6 by 6. It's got a lot of different colors in here. I'm going to use the pink. You got purple and green and yellow. All these beautiful colors. But I'm going to use that. It's called, should be, which one is this? It's not Petal Pink. Calypso, Coral, Heather, Mint Macaroon, Pear Possessed, Petal Pink. Is this the right one? Nope, this one's the right one. Sorry, I was showing you the wrong one. So this one comes out of this one. It's DSP in color from 2020 to 2022. It is Magenta Madness. Just the same color as we used for our Flamingo. So this is the tape gun I use. It's Easy Grand Runner. You can find that on Amazon. I will soon here have the tape that Stampin' Up uses, and I will demonstrate that as soon as it comes in. Like I said, bear with me guys while I get my supplies up and going. Now we're going to take this panel and I'm going to line up 3 edges. Left top, right top, bottom right. And that makes this corner line up perfectly. All right, time for our panel. Our beautiful little flamingo. And we're going to try to give that a nice border all the way around. Cute. So now I'm just going to, these you can also find on Amazon. They're just little gems, not sold by Stampin' Up. I'm going to use some Barely Art glue. And I'm going to give our flamingo a pink eyeball. That glue dries clear, so you don't have to worry about any white around your gem. And then I think I want another gem here, the end of the sentence, one at the beginning of the sentence. And this is just a jewel picker that I have. There we go, guys. There is our card panel. So we're going to move on to the inside. I just want to show you some things that you could do with the inside. I actually like to not stamp the inside until I know what the card's for, but I am going to go ahead and do that with you now, just to show you what all you can do. I'm going to bring back in our flamingo. Actually, I'm going to do this on a separate piece of cardstock. Just so if I mess up the panel, I don't mess up the whole card. Bring in my Stamparatus. I'm going to put my card right here. Put our magnet there. And we're just gonna put that flamingo right off the panel. Remember where you had your cardstock? I had it lined up on this line here. Put it back. And we're gonna come back in with that Magenta Madness. Give our flamingo nice inking. As long as we press down here, that should not hit the paper, so don't worry about it. There you go. We'll move this for a moment while I wipe up my stamp and pad. he is done. And we'll just put happy birthday inside. And I think I want this in that Pacific blue that I put away. Light taps, very gentle taps. Pretty. All my stamps are back in its rightful place. We can put the protective cover back on and put it away. Now we're just going to place this in the middle. I just did that because if I messed anything up, it's messed up on a different piece of cardstock and not my card. And plus it gives it a little extra heft. So therefore it stands up. So there is our card for the day. Stand tall and stand out. Flamingo. Super cute. Alright guys, I will try to list all the products that I use down below. And if you have any questions or want to order Stampin' Up for me, give me a shout. I'll leave my contact information down below as well. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me, guys. Bye.